rarest, and weirdest sleeper cars of the 90s. At first glance, they look like nothing special, just another commuter car from the 90s. But don't be fooled. Beneath the mild styling and quiet interiors of these vehicles lurks performance that could embarrass modern sports cars. In this episode, Muscle Car Era 69 uncovers 8 of the most rare and surprising sleeper cars of the 1990s machines built for speed but disguised for the street. From turbocharged 4 doors to subtle coupes packing V8 firepower, these underrated legends prove you don't need a flashy badge to bring the heat. Whether you're a longtime gearhead or just diving into the world of stealthy street machines, this countdown is full of unexpected horsepower and forgotten brilliance. Which one shocked you the most? Be sure to hit that like button, share with your fellow car fans, and subscribe to Muscle Car Era 69 for more hidden powerhouses from the glory days of 90s performance. 1993, Oldsmobile Achieva SCX. In the early 1990s, Oldsmobile quietly released a performance coupe that flew under nearly everyone's radar, the 1993 Achieva SCX. At first glance, it looked like a basic 2-door commuter, but under its low-key exterior was a true high-revving performer. Only 500 units were ever made, making the SCX one of the rarest sleepers of the era. Under the hood sat the legendary 2.3-liter quad-4 HO engine, producing 185 horsepower and 160 pound-feet of torque. What set it apart was its ability to rev up to a screaming 7,200 RPM redline, thanks to a recalibrated ECU and a free-flowing exhaust. It came paired with a tightly geared 5-speed manual, helping the SCX reach 0 to 60 miles per hour in the high 7-second range and run the quarter mile in 16 seconds flat. Weighing just over 2,700 pounds, the car was agile and light on its feet. Its sport-tuned suspension, complete with upgraded sway bars and adjustable struts, and shocks delivered tight handling and road-hugging control. Inside, the SCX kept its driver focused with a 140 miles per hour speedometer and a 7,200 RPM tachometer, while outside, small details like fog lamps, dual exhaust tips, and sleek cladding hinted at its performance nature. It was a true enthusiast's car hidden in plain sight. 1992, Dodge Spirit RT. Next on the list is the 1992 Dodge Spirit RT, one of the greatest automotive sleepers the 90s ever produced. On the surface, it looked like a basic mid-size sedan, a car you'd see in any high school parking lot. But beneath that average appearance lurked a serious performance machine. With just 191 units made that year, it's also one of the rarest. Its heart was a 2.2-liter turbocharged inline-4, cranking out 224 horsepower and 227 pound-feet of torque figures that rivaled or beat many European sports sedans at the time. What makes it even cooler is the team behind it. Maserati Lotus and legendary racer Hans Hermann all had a hand in its development. Matched to a tough Getrag 5-speed manual, the Spirit RT could sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6.4 seconds, rip the quarter mile in 15 seconds flat, and reach a top speed of 140 miles per hour performance that put it in the same conversation as the BMW M5 of that era. Not bad for a front-wheel drive sedan weighing around 3,089 pounds. Built on the Chrysler AA platform, the Spirit RT wasn't flashy in tech, just McPherson struts up front and a beam axle in the rear, but it was tuned well enough to handle its turbo punch. It was a brilliant combination of practicality and speed, wrapped in a shell that no one saw coming. That's what makes it one of the most exciting sleepers of the decade. 1990 Mercury Cougar XR7. At first glance, the 1990 Mercury Cougar XR7 looked like a classy cruiser built for quiet, confident highway driving. But hiding beneath that elegant design was something much more thrilling. This wasn't just a luxury coupe, it was a high-performance sleeper with a secret weapon under the hood. Only 841 units were ever built, with a rare 5-speed manual transmission, making this version of the XR7 a true collector's unicorn. Powering it was a 3.8-liter supercharged V6, delivering a stout 210 horsepower and 315 pound-feet of torque. That torque figure gave it incredible mid-range punch, and with rear-wheel drive and a fully independent suspension, the XR7 was no slouch through the corners either. It could sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 7.7 seconds, run the quarter mile in 15.8 seconds, and top out at 139 miles per hour performance numbers that rivaled cars double or triple its price, including the Aston Martin V8 Vantage of the same era. Built on Ford's advanced MN12 platform, the Cougar XR7 featured a fully independent suspension with electronically adjustable shocks. This meant you could firm things up for spirited driving or soften the ride for long cruises, blending comfort and capability like few cars of its time. With its solid chassis, confident handling, and unique manual gearbox, the XR7 offered a hands-on, engaging driving experience. It might have worn Mercury's badge, but it delivered like a muscle coupe in disguise. 1989 to 1990. Pontiac Grand Prix Turbo. Don't let the subtle lines of the 1989 to 1990 Pontiac Grand Prix Turbo fool you. What looked like a clean, understated coupe was actually hiding serious performance credentials thanks to a surprise name under the hood, McLaren. That's right, McLaren Performance Technologies helped engineer this special version of the Grand Prix, giving it a turbocharged 3.1-liter V6 that delivered 205 horsepower and 225 pound-feet of torque. That might not sound wild today, but for a front-wheel drive coupe in the late 80s, it was a rocket. With a reinforced 4-speed automatic, the Grand Prix Turbo could launch from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 7.1 seconds and rip through the quarter mile in 15.3 seconds, right in the neighborhood of a 1989 Ford Mustang GT. Pontiac didn't stop at power. Inside the cabin was loaded with tech. A heads-up display, digital controls, and leather bucket seats gave it a futuristic, high-performance feel. Outside, subtle ground effects, sculpted side skirts, and 16-inch alloy wheels gave it just enough attitude without drawing unwanted attention. Only 3,367 units were produced across both model years, making this turbocharged McLaren-tuned coupe a true rarity. It was fast, high-tech, and wildly underrated. In short, it was everything a 1990s sleeper should be. 1989 Ford Taurus SHO. In 1989, Ford shocked the automotive world by turning their best-selling family sedan into a full-fledged performance sleeper, the Taurus SHO, short for Super High Output. At a glance, it looked like your average mid-size grocery getter, but what lay beneath the hood was something totally unexpected. Powering the SHO was a 3.0-liter DOHC 24-valve V6, developed in collaboration with Yamaha. Built with an aluminum block and heads, this naturally aspirated engine delivered 220 horsepower at 6,200 RPM and 200 pound-feet of torque at 4,800 RPM. It featured sequential multi-port fuel injection, a 9.8-to-1 compression ratio, and a screaming 7,000 RPM redline. Mated exclusively to a Mazda-sourced 5-speed manual transmission, it sent power to the front wheels, launching the car from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6.6 seconds. It completed the quarter mile in 15.2 seconds and had a top speed of 143 miles per hour, unheard of for a family sedan at the time. The SHO rode on a 106-inch wheelbase, measured 192 inches in length, and weighed 3,160 pounds. It featured a sport-tuned suspension with McPherson struts up front and a quadrillink rear suspension with coil springs providing a balance of comfort and agility. Four-wheel disc brakes with optional ABS gave it confident stopping power, while 15-inch alloy wheels wrapped in Goodyear Eagle VR60 tires added grip. Despite the performance, the Taurus SHO remained visually understated. Subtle SHO, badging a slightly revised front fascia, and unique 15-spoke wheels were the only hints. Inside, it offered power front sports seats, leather-wrapped steering wheel, and a 140 mph speedometer, adding to its premium feel. Ford built 15,519 SHO models for the 1989 model year, making it a rare gem among modern classics. It was the ultimate stealth sedan, a machine that could embarrass a BMW E34 535. I yet still carry the kids to school. 1991 GMC Cyclone. In 1991, GMC unleashed a street-legal drag weapon disguised as a compact pickup. The GMC Cyclone looked like a basic Sonoma, with some sporty trim, but under the skin, it was nothing short of revolutionary. This truck was the first production pickup to offer all-wheel drive turbocharging and sports car-rivaling performance all in one package. At its core was a 4.3-liter LB4 V6, based on the Chevy small block architecture, but heavily upgraded. With forged pistons, nodular iron crankshaft, and stronger main caps, it could handle serious boost. A Mitsubishi TD0617C turbocharger and Garrett air-to-water intercooler pumped out 14 psi of boost, resulting in 280 horsepower at 4,400 RPM and a massive 350 pound-feet of torque at 3,600 RPM. That power was channeled through a 4-speed 4L60 automatic transmission and a Borg-Warner 4472 AWD transfer case with a fixed 35-65 front-to-rear torque split. Launches were brutal. The Cyclone could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4.3 seconds, blast the quarter mile in 13.4 seconds at 98 miles per hour, and reach a top speed of around 124 miles per hour. Weighing in at 35.26 pounds, the Cyclone rode on a 108.3-inch wheelbase, featured lowered suspension, upgraded anti-roll bars, and gas-pressurized Bilstein shocks. Stopping power came from front disc rear drum brakes, and it rode on 16-inch aluminum wheels wrapped in 245/50 VR16 Firestone Firehawk tires. Its exterior was all stealth black on black paint, custom body cladding, and no flashy graphics. Inside, it came equipped with bucket seats, a center console with transmission shifter, and a unique instrument cluster with a 120 miles per hour speedometer and boost gauge. Only 2,995 units were produced, all for the 1991 model year, making it one of the rarest and most iconic performance trucks ever built. It beat the Ferrari 348 and Corvette ZR1 in acceleration tests, redefining what a pickup could be. The GMC Cyclone was, and still is, a legend in the world of sleepers. 1994 Chevrolet Impala SS. The 1994 Chevrolet Impala SS proved that Detroit's muscle car legacy didn't have to die with the 70s. It just evolved, and in this case into a full-size four-door sleeper. With its aggressive styling, Corvette-derived powertrain and heavy-duty underpinnings borrowed from police cruisers, the Impala SS was far more than just a dressed-up caprice. Built on the GMB body platform, the same used for police and fleet vehicles, the SS was powered by the 5.7-liter LT1 V8, the same engine found in the C4 Corvette, albeit slightly detuned. It produced 260 horsepower at 5,000 RPM and a robust 330 pound-feet of torque at 4,000 RPM. Backed by a 4L60E 4-speed automatic transmission, this full-size sedan could launch from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 7.0 seconds and clear the quarter mile in 15.3 seconds, all while tipping the scales at over 4,220 pounds. To handle that power, Chevy outfitted it with performance-calibrated suspension, including stiffer springs, gas-pressurized shocks, larger front and rear sway bars, and a limited-slip rear differential with 3.08 gears. It rode on 17-inch brushed aluminum wheels wrapped in two 55/50 ZR17 tires, giving it both grip and menacing curb appeal. The exterior styling was subtle, but intimidating monochromatic body color, a blacked-out grille, smoothed bumpers, and debadged trim with only the Impala SS logo etched into the rear quarter panels. It sat lower than a standard Caprice and looked far more aggressive doing it. Inside the SS featured a leather-wrapped steering wheel, gray leather bucket seats, a floor-mounted shifter, and a 140 mph speedometer clues that this was no ordinary sedan. And with seating for 5 and a cavernous trunk, it blended real-world practicality with classic V8 muscle. With just 6,303 units produced in 1994, the first-year Impala SS is one of the rarest of the series. It's a car that offered muscle car attitude with 4-door comfort and the ability to surprise just about anything at a stoplight. 1987 Buick GNX. When it comes to 1980s American performance legends, few cars strike fear and respect quite like the 1987 Buick GNX. Nicknamed Darth Vader's ride, the GNX took Buick's already iconic Grand National and turned it into a full-blown street weapon. This wasn't just a muscle car, it was a statement. Built in collaboration with McLaren Performance Technologies and ASC, the GNX represented the peak of turbocharged engineering in the muscle car world. At the heart of the GNX was a heavily revised 3.8-liter turbocharged V6, upgraded with a Garrett T, 3 turbocharger, larger intercooler, and reprogrammed engine controls. Buick rated the output at 276 horsepower and 360 pound-feet of torque. But many insiders and dyno runs suggest the real figures were closer to 300-plus horsepower and over 400 pound-feet. In a rear-wheel drive coupe weighing about 35-45 pounds that translated to blistering performance. The GNX could sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4.7 seconds and run the quarter mile in 13.5 seconds at 102 miles per hour, making it faster than the Ferrari F40 in a straight line. Let that sink in, this was a Buick that outran supercars. Visually, the GNX flew under the radar. It kept the all-black menace of the Grand National, but added functional fender vents, wider rear flares, and a set of 16-inch black mesh wheels wrapped in Goodyear Eagle VR50 tires. A special GNX instrument cluster and badging subtly hinted at its upgraded status, but most people never saw it coming. Only 547 units were produced, all in 1987, making the GNX one of the rarest and most desirable American cars of its time. It wasn't just fast, it was the ultimate factory sleeper, a car that humbled V8s and exotics alike, with a 6-cylinder and a turbo. Today, it stands as a high watermark in Buick's performance history and remains a crown jewel for collectors worldwide. That brings us to the end of our countdown of the top 8 sleeper cars, a lineup of overlooked machines that hid serious firepower beneath ordinary exteriors. From turbocharged trucks to stealthy sedans and underrated coupes, these hidden gems from the 1990s and beyond proved that real performance doesn't always wear a badge or a spoiler. So which one caught you off guard the most? Was it the Buick GNX, the GMC Cyclone, or maybe one you'd never even heard of until now? And if you've got a sleeper car story or a favorite we missed, drop it in the comments below. We want to hear from fellow gearheads who appreciate the art of subtle speed. If you love discovering the forgotten legends of performance, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Muscle Car Era 69, your home for hidden muscle car history, forgotten sleepers, and the greatest underdogs ever built.